Time. Sometimes it flies, sometimes it seems to hardly even move. Sometimes we feel like we have all the time in the world, and then we ask, where did it go? Why is that? Learn how to influence your subjective sense of time and make the most out of it. Aloha everyone, and welcome to your podcast for Joyful Serenity. My name is Pia, and I am grateful to be a part of your journey in becoming. Have you ever heard the sentence, time flies when you're having fun? I find this to be very true, and time has always been something that I've been very curious about. There have been times where I just couldn't take my eyes out of off of the watch or off of the clock and just thought, oh, I wish this could pass. And then I would do things that I really love and enjoyed, and I would think, wow, it's already over. It just happens to me every week when I teach my classes, and I feel like, wow, 3 hours over and gone. And in the last days and weeks, I've experienced so many things that when I look back now, it feels like this could have filled an entire year. And I just recently had a beautiful conversation with a person I met newly, which was before I was teaching my breathwork class in Berlin. And I just, it's summer here, so summer in Berlin is really nice. And I just went to get some ice cream. And I sat down in front of the store, and there was this guy, and he asked me if I was from Denmark. And I was like, no, why? So we started talking. And after 30 minutes, I looked at my watch and I was like, I have to go. I'm sorry. I have to teach, but thank you so much for this beautiful conversation. We talked about so many things, and it was so inspiring and so interesting. But again, time just flew by. What we know is that time is subjective. There's no one rule about time. It is very subjective. And I think you might have experienced that too. And when we do new things and we are totally present, we're sometimes even losing a sense of time. And this happens a lot more when we're young. Young kids are totally present. They are most of the time in a theta brainwave state where they are fully in the moment, which you recognize when kids play and you call for them and they just won't hear you. It's not because they don't want to listen. It's because they're totally absorbed in the moment, in the present, in the power of the present moment. When we're getting older, we tend to have more habits, which is totally natural. We've experienced a lot of things already. So our brain is not really interested, let's say it like this, in remembering all the habits because there's no arousal. There's nothing new about them. We've done that a million times. So this is also why sometimes we can remember a sports event in 3rd grade, but we can't even remember what we had for dinner yesterday. So what can we do about this? Sometimes we tell ourselves we don't have time. And this is true. But also when we say we have a lot of time, that's true. Because it always depends on your subjective sense of time and what you decide to choose. You can either say you do not have time to do X, Y, Z, or you can decide to say, I do have time. I will make time. And this is your responsibility. If you feel like you want to be more present, you have the opportunity to tap back into that childlike state of time And how do you do that? By experiencing new things. Time is nothing we're entitled to. We can make the most out of what we're given. The only thing we know is we're born and we're going to die eventually. So what we're doing in between is something that is in our power. Like I said, the more habits we build, the older we get. Time seems to fly, and at the same time, we do not remember those habits very well because we're experiencing less new things. What you can do to really turn that narrative around and change time in your subjective sense is by stopping for a moment and breathing. Being fully present with your breath, maybe even feeling your heartbeat, will bring you back into that present moment and give it some new meaning. You can give new meanings to the moments. See that you have some physical and emotional arousal, and if it's going well for you, it's not only stress being in arousal, but also physical activities. Maybe you've experienced this before, when you are in your body, when you are moving, when you're breathing, and especially when you're doing it and having fun, time flies. But also, all of these moments where you felt like time was flying are actually the ones that you can remember the most, more than your habits that you've been doing for years and years. The dopamine in your body, which gets you happy and excited, is one of the reasons that the more we enjoy what we're doing, the faster it feels. Remember, it feels faster in the moment, but retrospective, you will remember it longer. So what can you do to really be more fully present? Make time for it. Put it on your calendar. Maybe try out to do something new, learn something new, experience something new every week. You can start by finding a day and just putting it on your schedule. Or you can just manifest it on the beginning of the week and say, I'm going to experience or to try out or to meet somebody new this week. And I'm excited about it. And then just see what happens. But if you put it on your schedule and on your calendar, you will feel like there is some kind of, you just have a date. You have a date with your new experience and you're inviting it in. You're putting it on your calendar. Like I said, one other thing that brings you into the moment and be very present is your breath. Just taking a deep breath whenever you feel like time is too fast or time is too slow. Just come back in the present moment and just breathe, realizing what is right now. And also just doing a mental snapshot. What you're doing here is just in your imagination, you close your eyes and then you make a snapshot of the moment that you're in right now with all your senses. What are you hearing? What are you sensing? What are you feeling? What are you tasting? What are you smelling? All of those things. And then just create a little book of memories, of snapshots that you experienced to change your subjective sense of time. If you want to dive a little deeper into maybe even losing a sense of time and experiencing the feeling of being in this sweet spot in between where everything and nothingness happen to coexist, where you're in your body but you're not really, where you tap into a non-ordinary state of consciousness, I would love to invite you to join one of my online psychedelic breath classes. I do teach in German and in English, My next German online class will be on Monday, the 26th of June at 7 p.m. German time. And my next English online psychedelic breath class for my international friends will be on Sunday, the 2nd of July at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is Los Angeles time, or 7 p.m. European time. I would love to invite you to really dive deeper into this space of just being, allowing your consciousness to float between space and time. And I hope this episode gave you some inspiration, some insight, and maybe also a little time for you. Thank you for listening, and also thank you for rating and reviewing this podcast on Spotify. Give it a 5-star, and also on Apple Podcasts. I would love to hear your review about this episode and all the other ones. I do have more English episodes. Just scroll through the podcasts. There are nearly 140 episodes, and I have 15 to 20 English ones already. So make sure to check them out and enjoy them along the way. Thank you, and we hear us soon.